What's up, everybody? Celtics here back with our video. Get those 10s and 20 views, and I need the air conditioning is on. Yeah, I'm doing a simple reaction. I've actually just finished rival color swap for all 32 NFL teams. I may do something with hockey logos as well if I get around to it. Maybe similar to what I did with football, where I just changed everyone's stuff around. Today, like I said, doing a simple reaction. We're going to do what cultures wrestling 10 before they were famous WWE cameos you won't believe. Now, I do know, like, Tommaso Ciampa was somebody's lawyer or something like that, or he had a segment with The Undertaker. Ty Dillinger, Shawn Spears. He was Stan, who got super kicked by Shawn Michaels. And, like, a few other people. Joe Henry was somebody's lawyer. The Olympics are on the background, so if I pause and go to something like that, it's because I'm watching the Olympics. I love sports, and I love the Olympics for the fact that you see sports you normally don't get to see. But enough the chitty chatty. Pull this over. We have this bald bastard, who I did meet, really nice guy. Let's get to it. Headphones on. Go. I'll probably stop after like one or two if I have a real comment.
Overnight success is 10 years in the making, and you know what? It's true. While it's nice to think a new superstar has just popped up out of nowhere, more often than not they've been toying.
Let's see. That's Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte.
Away, working at their craft and waiting for their big break to arrive. When it does, all this experience is used to take advantage of it, and that's that. They're away to the races, and it's just wonderful to see. All this effort, however, is capable of manifesting itself in many different ways, namely absolutely crazy cameos that seem almost unbelievable with hindsight. How could DDP, who would go on to become a multi-time WCW champion, once have a role as a driver at WrestleMania 6? He did though. That was his job that night, to pretend to be a chauffeur as other people took center stage.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you'll see a lot of like the security is all like local indie wrestlers or guys that are about to be like at least at WWE at the Performance Center. Olympic break. Pause.
A few moments later.
I'm back. The American got third in the backstroke.
That's wrestling for you, though. I'm Simon from What Culture, and this is 10 before they were famous cameos you won't believe. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to stay notified. Ding, ding, done. Number 10, Bobby Roode. Straight up, during a SmackDown episode in 2001 featuring Triple H,
oh, you can tell that's Bobby Roode.
Policeman's face was caught on camera. You want to know who that man was? That's right, it was Bobby Roode. Following the usual route of up-and-coming wrestler being used as an extra on WWE TV, the real joy here was that 15 years later he would be shaking the game's hand as he debuted in NXT. If that's not a fun bit of trivia, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but I really liked his TNA stick, and I'm pissed that it never brought in Storm to recreate Beer Money in WWE.
Roode would return to Under the Radar segments too when we turn our attentions to Jacked, a short-lived and bizarre WWE program that mixed nothing matches with highlights from Raw and SmackDown. Why it existed, no one knew because the company never treated it like it mattered, but it shone in the sense it would give you a heads up of wrestlers coming.
There's Samoa Joe.
There are loads of names you can pull out here which would surprise, and Mr. Roode was one of these faces. Taking on Billy Kidman in 2003, the real thing to focus on is Bobby's bleached blonde hair. It's like looking at the sun with no glasses. He also seems to have the secret to eternal youth. Seriously, ignoring the change in hair color, Roode looks almost exactly the same back then as he does now, and that's terrifying. Number 9, Sarah Logan.
And a commercial. Oh yeah, no. Roode was definitely part of the great era of TNA when it was actually better than WWE. Yeah, I said it.
She was first on WWE TV when she appeared as a makeup artist and concession stand assistant on episodes of Raw. On the 1st of September 2014 edition, for example, she touched up the Miz's stage makeup before, during, and after a tag team match. 2 months later, on 24th of November, she was playing the role of a concession stand worker and interacting with both Kane and Ryback. Logan would go through lots of these guises too, as she was also a rosebud for Adam Rose.
Yeah, but there's a lot you could say was part of that Rosebud.
And in spoof commercials with The Miz and Damien Sandow. She's a rare example of someone who has appeared as an extra playing multiple characters. They all happened within one calendar year. Plus, she then went on to break onto the main roster. Kind of inspiring, really. Always believe in your dreams. Number 8, Johnny Gargano. This one is wonderful, all things considered. Before he even had a name in the WWE, Johnny was known as Cedric Von Hausen. No, that is not a joke. He was the most famous Liechtensteiner to ever appear on WWE television and had one of the best outfits you're ever likely to see. He looked like stereotypical Europe had just thrown up on him. On the 27th of March 2000 episode of SmackDown, however, Gargano pulled on his funny little hat, dressed up like an extra from Jack and the Beanstalk, and was promptly crushed by MVP. You should go out of your way to see this, because it's just so ridiculous. Years later, Gargano would tear down the house at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 against Tommaso Ciampa in a world-class street fight that went over 35 minutes. And I bet if anyone had told you that 10 years prior, you would have been punched in the face. I imagine Gargano was...
What was that like? I know you're British, but that sounded more Australian than anything.
secretly proud of this at the time as well. Just appearing on WWE programming is pretty cool, even if you have to dress like a plonker.
Yeah, well, you don't know the road, but yeah, but you figure if you're a jobber and you're like new to business, you're probably thinking like, this could be my only time really in WWE. At least I got there. It's like the people who make it to the Olympics but don't win a medal. Like, yeah, I'm still an Olympian.
Number 7, all the Rosebuds. Go and find any picture of the Rosebuds and you'll start to notice a lot of recognisable faces. There's Becky Lynch, Elias, Simon Gotch and Braun Strowman, and they all look like they're having the best of times alongside Adam Rose and his band of bizarre warriors. It's not like being part of this group hurt them either, as Lynch, Elias and Strowman are all now proper stars on either Raw or SmackDown. There's other names we can mention too, including James Ellsworth, Carmella and Alexa Bliss. Even Impact Wrestling talent like Tessa Blanchard and Sami Callihan have pulled on their party gear to dance around like idiots, and all of them...
Sami Callihan? Ooh, wow, okay, that one shocked me.
...should thank Adam Rose for their careers. Maybe. No. Number 6, the Hardy Boys. This is the kind of stuff I enjoy. Before they were trying to kill themselves in a wrestling ring, the Hardy Boys were doormen at a King of the Ring show that featured Mabel and Savio Vega. This happened in 1995 when the Hardys had to stand idly by a regal entranceway and just open the door when a wrestler was ready to walk down the aisle. I still think it's awesome though, because again, imagine being able to tell your mates that. It's not the worst story in the world, even if you didn't go on to become WWE legends. But
also, I want to say Jeff was probably still in high school at this time. I know he lied about his age.
But they did, because as we know 4 years later on their very same pay-per-view, Jeff and Matt beat Edge and Christian to become the new #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Moreover, the pair look so young here, it's amazing they were let out of the house to begin with. That's mostly because they were so young. The Hardys never messed around, knew they wanted to be wrestlers, and did whatever they could to get there, including this. Number 5, Rob Van Dam. In 1997, a young Rob Van Dam bounced onto WWF TV and showed a much larger audience what ECW fans already knew. He was damn good at what he did and could be a success no matter where he plied his trade.
God, put him in today's era where weed is legal, he would never got in trouble.
That wasn't always the case when he was between the ropes. A decade before establishing himself as Mr. Monday Nights, Van Dam appeared in a skit with Ted DiBiase and Virgil, during which he agreed to kiss the $1 Million Man's foot for a cool $100. Going down in 1987, it was part of DiBiase's ongoing mission to prove he could buy anyone, and the future world champ, who was just 16 years old here, was no different. The youngster wittingly got down onto his hands and knees, looked up at the heel, and then crouched down to plant a kiss on his boots. Imagine an RVD telling Ted, hey, guess what? One day I'm going to be holding that big gold belt, and you will never have it. Can't write that stuff. Number 4, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. 2014 was a breakout year for Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss would have to wait a little longer to make her mark, but she'd already been earmarked by WWE management. All these women had very big futures and that was no secret. For that very reason, the trio were handpicked to make their WrestleMania debuts at Mania 30 during Triple H's entrance. Walking to the top of the rampway with the game, the threesome helped Triple H remove his over-the-top ring attire, and I think they would have got a kick out of it. There's only a small part, sure, but even doing that in front of a huge crowd at Mania? Worse than a kick in the teeth. Number 3, CM Punk.
Yeah, you also got to figure that's probably a great way to kind of knock off the jitters of being in front of that many people for the first time. Is okay, we're doing this.
Just over 5 years before
Punk is one I don't know.
Facing John Cena at the history-making Money in the Bank 2011.
Like I knew Gargano, Ciampa, those three, most of the Rosebuds. Oh yeah, he was this. But yeah, Punk.
CM Punk was pulling on a suit, grabbing his Tommy gun, and playing a gangster for Cena's entrance routine at WrestleMania 22. Talk about a change. As Punk held on to the side of the car and attempted to look mean, he must have wondered if he'd someday have the chance to headline Mania himself. The answer, as anyone who has closely followed his career will know, is that he wouldn't. Sadly, despite being one of WWE's top names for years, this was as close to the headline slot as Punk would get. Unless you count the Undertaker match as a main event, but no one does, unless you work backstage for the company. It wasn't the first time he made a cameo on TV, though. In 2003, Punk briefly appeared in a backstage segment with Brock Lesnar. And who could have guessed that Lesnar would be surpassing the man who once played a fan of his as the longest reigning world champ of the modern era come 2018? Nobody, unless you're a damn liar. Number 2, Cesaro and EC3. During a segment where Triple H and Shawn Michaels were in their "we don't care about anything" phase in 2006, a couple of security guards were seen.
Oh dear God, look at Cesaro. Like EC3 looks like EC3, just a tiny bit younger. The facial hair on Claudio, though. Wow.
In the background. One was Cesaro.
Also, Claudio looks like he had no idea how a police officer should stand. Like, at least EC3 looks like he's trying to be intimidating.
The other was EC3. The best part was, you can almost see the Swiss Superman start to laugh as Triple H boasts that Stephanie McMahon got married to the man with the world's largest penis, and I'm not making that up. While he almost cracked, however, the same can't be said for Ethan Carter III, who stood there the entire time with a stern face. Neither man really did much here, and once more, their sole job was just to fill up a camera shot, but given what they've achieved today, it's quite the beginnings. I bet.
Oh, EC3 should never left TNA. I will stand by that. He should never left them.
No one even blinked an eye 12 years ago. Everyone was too busy laughing at HBK hawking merchandise. Number 1, Randy Orton. This really is one of those blink and you'll miss it moments. On the 7th of September 2000 edition of SmackDown, a babyface Randy Orton was shown with his arm around a woman as they enjoyed some drinks in a nearby bar. Amazingly, next to him is Doug Basham, making this like some sort of weird dream. Orton wasn't on screen for long. The camera soon panned to Farouk and Bradshaw of the APA, who had come to the bar looking for a fight. They'd get one, but not from Randy. The Dudley Boys showed up instead, and the two slapped
Come on, what culture? You could not put the logos off to the side so we can still see the video?
each other around. Orton wouldn't be seen again on the main roster until making his full-blown debut in 2002, and yet here he was like some sort of live Getty image. Did alright for himself though, didn't he? Yeah, smashed it, Randy. Smashed it.
I'm slightly disappointed in the list. Like, I would have had Joe Henry as I think Rusev's lawyer. I think that's what he was. Ciampa doing a part with like the Undertaker. But yeah, no, a lot of those are like, if you watch a lot of the wrestlers, like I've done it before, go back and rewatch old wrestling and you'll start seeing people like, oh crap, that's so and so. Oh, that's that guy. It's hilarious. But that's it. That's all I have. I will see you weird people later. I'm gonna go back to enjoying the Olympics.